I sacrificed a lot of my health and my wellness when we were building the business. And now that we are where we are and we feel more secure and better where we are, we could really focus on our health and wellness. And I know that for you, it's a huge thing as well.
I knew at that moment, I was like, okay, I got to change some things about myself. And that doesn't happen from one day to the next. We have to get out of this mother-daughter, small-minded, limiting belief system that we are entrepreneurs and the business is going to stay like this if we want to scale. I think for me, the most important changes that I've made in my life are related to...
This is Skin Talks, the podcast where we go deeper than skin, products, and trends and explore the conversations that actually matter in health, beauty, wellness, and confidence.
We're a mother-daughter duo and the founders of Boutique Skin Envie. After years inside the industry, we've learned that health is never just about what you use. It's about everything you digest, how you think, how you live, what you eat, how you move, what you put on your skin, and how you feel in your own body.
If you're looking for insight, honesty, and a fresh perspective on the future of health, beauty, and wellness, you're in the right place.
Let's get into it.
Skin Talks podcast by Boutique Skin Envie, hosted by Beate and Natasha.
Welcome back to the part 2 of this solo episode where we're going to be really talking about the future of BSC. And I'm excited for this convo because we talked about, the struggles that we went through, the sacrifices that we did. And I think one thing that really stands out for us is that we basically have like a wellness company at this point. And I mean, skincare and everything is a part of wellness. And we talk to our our customers all the time about how important it is to take care of yourself, to wash your face, to do all these things. And I think that for a time we had not been doing that. And it was like, we needed to start doing what we're communicating to our customers, to ourselves, to really emanate.
Taking our own advice.
Yeah, taking our own advice and really honing in on our wellness. Like I said in the previous episode, if you haven't listened, you should go listen. Is that I sacrificed a lot of my health and my wellness when we were building the business. And now that we are where we are and we feel more secure and better where we are, we could really focus on our health and wellness. And I know that for you, it's a huge thing as well.
Well, it's been a big priority for me, especially 2026.
Yeah. And I think also generationally speaking, like I always had a little bit more of a awareness on taking time off and allowing time for myself to dissociate from the company so that I can come back stronger. Whereas I think that you struggle with that a little bit more of really like
giving yourself permission
to take time, to not work, to like have a Sunday to yourself. And I think that you've really gotten better at that. I think I might have helped you in that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We talked about it once on your 30th birthday. We were going to Ibiza with your family. And prior to leaving to Ibiza, we had a little altercation. And you basically were like, you said a couple of things to me. And I remember being like, okay, like I've received it. First of all, obviously when you receive information that you don't like, it's, the natural instinct is to defend yourself, even to yourself. And I could feel myself doing that, but I was like, I got to let this sit. And it was the moment for me that I said, I don't want this anymore. Like if that's how my daughter feels, who's the most important person in my life up until this the birth of your son, Maximilian.
And now it comes second.
Yeah. I need to change those things. I need to look at myself. And I've always been somebody that I think has been able to look at myself in the mirror and really ask myself questions. Did I always act on them appropriately? No, but I could always say, am I the one who's causing this? And I could say that for maybe that, 6-year time during the pandemic when we were building BSE, I was not able to look at those things so deeply until maybe the second half. I knew at that moment, I was like, okay, I got to change some things about myself. And that doesn't happen from one day to the next.
No,
it's a process. So I started to be able to separate myself from myself and say, okay, you're behaving and doing, you're reacting this way, you're looking at this, why are you doing that? And, you have to improve on that. And that's not the right way for you to do it. Like you don't want to be that old version of Beate that was trauma bound. You want to be in your superpower phase. So how do you get there? And I think that really acknowledging that, and then, like you said, take your own advice to take care of yourself it's also a process. What does it mean to take care of oneself? You know, to not abandon stuff, to not run away from your pain or from your emotions. There's a lot that's intertwined in that.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the most important changes that I've made in my life are related to when I see significant difference in my life, for me to be able to feel more at peace and better is when I eat healthy and consistently throughout the day, proper macros, which I learned through Diana. So I'm very
trainer,
grateful
yeah.
for her because she's our personal trainer. We started to do personal training together 3 to 4 times a week. We blocked out 4 times a week in our schedule. And so no matter what, we're going to go and train together. That was an action to take care of oneself. But coupled with that, you have to eat well.
Yep.
And that's not something that I was doing. I was always eating on the run, probably too much sugar.
I have this memory of you where I was like, did you eat today? And you're like, yeah, I had a tomato. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Well, I was always like,
like
full
just one
transparency.
tomato.
I always had a weight. I always had a something in
Body
my mind
images.
of body image
Body
because
image
there
issues.
was somebody in my life when I was growing up that was always commenting on me being, big legs and, overweight. When I gained 2 pounds, I would get a comment. And so I was always aware of my weight, even though in my head, I was like, Beate, there's nothing wrong with your weight. If you go on the scale, you're a perfectly normal weight for a woman of your height. But I had a bad image around myself. So for me, eating was not a priority because I was always trying to stay slim. So what I learned was you become slim and fit when you eat the right foods. And when you eat the right foods and the right amount of protein and all the different things, you actually start to feel really good.
Yeah.
And the thing is that as you're feeling bad in life, you don't notice how bad you're feeling because it's a gradual process of decline. But all of a sudden, when you start to feel good, then you're like,
realize how uncomfortable you were before.
Right?
Yeah.
So working out, diet, what I eat is really important to me today. And, recently I'm a sugar freak. Like the girls in the office beside me, they always have chocolates and candies and stuff like that. So I was lazy and I would go and I would grab a handful and eat it and eat it and eat it. But that all causes an enormous amount of inflammation in the body. Sugar is really not a great thing. So I stopped doing that because I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling, swollen and puffy and like, even though I wasn't gaining necessarily weight, it has an effect on your body. And I realized that, I'm such a stickler on quality of food. Like I'm somebody who only eats organic. I'm somebody who will always look at sugar content. I always look at the ingredients of everything I put in my body, whether it be crackers or whatever. There's times of my life where I give myself permission not to. Like if I'm out for dinner or at a friend's for dinner, I'm not going to not eat because of that. But then I'll go and I'll grab a handful of candy and I'll eat that. So then I'm like, well, you're really...
It doesn't align with your values.
Not at all. So why am I doing it? Why do I do it? It's like self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Like that part of me that believes that, that inner, you have these different voices in your head and that one's like, you're not really worth it anyway. So just eat it. Like it's not to sound pitiful in any way, but it's a reality. We always struggle with those things. So it wasn't aligning. And then the other thing is sleep, prioritizing sleep, which I wasn't doing for most of my adult life. And then also alcohol. There's times in my life that I've stopped drinking, but not been eating properly, and it doesn't make a difference. There's times in my life that I've ate properly and stopped drinking, and all of a sudden, whoop, I feel really good. And I've started to do that again. And I'm like, okay, so working out, eating healthy, reducing alcohol and sleep. And then on top of that, how you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Is all the areas that I worked on to improve.
Yeah.
And I feel much better. And that's not to say you don't have good days and not good days. But if you start with those foundational steps, you're setting yourself up to be more present in your business, to make better decisions in your business, to make better decisions in your life, to have an energy around you that is more positive than like tired, right? So that's what I've done. What about you?
I mean, I got pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to, I think definitely movement is something that really helps. Like when we work out 4 days a week, that's something that's very, very helpful. Yeah. I also have moments where I don't eat well and I just like, I'm like, it's a cheat day, whatever. I have chocolate or candy and it's fine. But yes, when you eat better and it's ultimately you see really good results. Hard to say because when I got pregnant, like everything kind of shifts. Now I'm in my postpartum. I eat a lot better now in my postpartum than I was in my pregnancy because one thing I really craved was sugar. And I can tell immediately, like, I feel so much better. Even though I'm postpartum, I feel amazing in my body because I'm eating properly, because I'm breastfeeding. I know I need to eat really well and I know I need to eat a lot. And I think that helps. Now I'm implementing more movement in my day to day now that the weather's getting nicer finally in Montreal.
So wonderful.
I don't have to worry about taking him out in minus 30-degree weather. It was so cold this winter. But yeah, I think certain things that I've done that helps with like mental health is I deleted TikTok for like 6 months. Was really trying to minimize my doom scrolling, minimize all that kind of stuff. Really take moments for myself, take baths, like really have time.
Self-care.
Yeah, self-care, things like that that have really helped me. Alone time. I mean, now it's a little bit hard, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, things like that. I would definitely say you'd obviously always feel better when you eat better.
Yeah.
When you work out, when you sleep well.
Yeah. Also taking time to be social.
Yeah.
But you touched on something that I agree with a lot, and that's alone time and self-care days. I did that also. I started last year on Sundays. It's like I called it my self-care Sunday.
Yeah.
And those are the days where I think, and I just putz, I'll do, you clean your place, you meal prep, I would get so many ideas for Boutique Skin Envie on Sundays. I would have like almost epiphanies. I'm like, okay, so now we're here.
Yeah.
I'm sure you remember me sending texts and stuff like saying, I have an idea and, where we want to, there's a moment when you're running a business and you're starting a business where you are everything to the business and where you have to understand that you can't be everything to the business. And you have to relinquish and start to delegate.
Yeah. Which is such a weird concept.
Which is weird, right? Because you're right. So, but when you were expecting Maximilian, one of my self-care Sundays, I sat down and I said, okay, so Beate Tash running this business. We've been doing it this way. Mother, daughter, so proud. We've accomplished this. Like I was going through the gratifying and gratitude moments of acknowledgement. And I'm like, okay, but this is where you are today. This is where you can't stay here unless this is where you want to stay. Yeah. You have to make a decision. You want to stay here and just keep the business going as it is and keep the same revenue and, same team and same lifestyle and like your days being, 12-hour working days, or you have to think about how big, successful, not necessarily big, but how successful entrepreneurs have built businesses. An entrepreneur is an entrepreneur. There's pros and cons to an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is relentless and visionary and all that. But like people that aren't entrepreneurs are working with systems, and they're much more like structured. And it's a different energy between an entrepreneur and a non-entrepreneur, and not one is better than the other. I want to say that. But I said, we have to get out of this mother-daughter, small-minded, limiting belief system that we are entrepreneurs and the business is going to stay like this if we want to scale. We have to start thinking like, I don't like to say it, but let's say, I'm going to say, no, Jeff Bezos, okay? Because I don't want to talk about, not that I have an admiration for what he's done in his life. Do I like him so much? Not so much. But that's regardless. That's a personal opinion. But what did he do? From taking a secondhand bookstore in his garage to building Amazon. And what decisions did he make, and what kind of partnerships did he bring in, and what kind of mindset did he have, and what did he do to be able to do that? Or other successful entrepreneurs, how do they do it? So that's when I started to say, we can't do it ourselves anymore. We've got to find people who we can
people
who can
are,
help us to build the team.
Yeah. And people who are smarter than us and better than us in certain parts that we no longer can handle.
Well, yeah, because we will ultimately, keep our business at the same level because we're not capable or have the time to do everything.
Yeah.
And also, we have also our limitations.
Yeah.
We're good at some things and not so good at the others. That's normal.
Yeah.
You can't be good at everything.
That's why you need to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you all the time. So,
right.
I mean, I think we ultimately knew what we had to do. I think when I announced that I was pregnant, I think that escalated it and like really pushed.
That's all I thought about. I was like, okay.
It's like, it like put the pedal to the metal. Like we have to do this soon because obviously I know you've mentioned this, that you wanted me to enjoy my becoming a mother. And of course I wanted to as well, not knowing anything that I was getting myself into. But I think that really pushed us to like get things going right away. It had to happen regardless.
It had to happen, but it was definitely a catalyst.
Yeah. And I think that we sat down and we were like, okay,
we went away.
This is what we need.
You and Joey gave me a gift card to a spa.
Yeah.
And I remember before that, on my self-care Sunday, sitting down and saying, okay. And I built a plan. And I said, I want to talk to you. Like, we're going on a self-care little 2 nights. We went to up north.
Yeah. Estrel.
And it was like a mother-daughter thing, which was really important to me. But I also wanted to present to you some ideas that I had. And I was like, I want to talk to you about it. And we sat at the bar at the hotel the first night we got there. And I said, okay, I think we need to hire this. And we made all the decisions. We did all of the job descriptions. We decided what were the priorities. And then we hired a placement agency, so AKA a headhunter. I contacted 3. We actually hired 3. And we gave out what we were looking for. And in the process of hiring,
we realized
we need more people. Yes. So we did hire more people than we originally set out to. But it was a really interesting and important exercise for us to go through. And also when you're hiring in people as a small business, you don't have pockets that are deep, your budgets and you have your business plan and stuff like that. But it's not like you can go and hire somebody who works for Amazon and is making a huge amount of money, right? Like you also have to do things that you can afford. So for us, it was really important to establish, who are we as an organization? What do we want people to feel when they work for us? What kind of environment and culture do we want to create? Because the culture was us before. We had a couple of people that worked with us in the in the shipping department and accounting and customer service.
But we were so involved that like the company was us. And now that we were hiring new people, we wanted to make sure that if we were going to be more removed, what's that environment going to be like? So hiring people who were going to fit in that environment that we wanted and create the environment we wanted.
To create the environment. And
we succeeded in that.
I think we're very lucky. First of all, we've hired incredible people.
We also had a very good team to begin with.
Before. Yeah, 100%.
We are very, very lucky with the people that we have found. We're very lucky.
So the original roots of the company with the people, we still have people that work with us from the very beginning.
Yeah, shout out staff.
Amazing. Staff in the warehouse, amazing. We brought in more customer service. We brought in more people, amazing. But they didn't have strong leadership because we were so in the weeds, Tash.
Yeah.
We
hired a lot of young people too.
A lot of young people, love working with young people. And, but we needed leadership. Structure. We needed people to take care of them. We weren't available to that because we were running around all over the place, right?
Not anymore, yeah.
So we hired in management. We hired people in our webmaster IT department. Like we brought 6 people in at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Which was a big...
From basically September until December, we hired.
November 24th was our last hire last year. So from September, November, we hired 6 people. And obviously November, everybody knows the last quarter in the retail business is the busiest season of the year. Bringing and hiring people in at that time is not the ideal time to hire. It's not, because you're in a shitstorm with marketing and advertising, because this is the season of the year that you have the most opportunity to drive revenue and introduce your brand to new people, right?
Yeah. Chaos.
So it was chaotic, but at the same time,
and I was dwindling down at this time.
Yeah, you were getting more and more pregnant.
I was just like fading away into pregnancy.
And I was taking more on my shoulders because of that. I was like, okay, I can carry a heavy load, so I will handle. And then, you bring in new people and they have to find their way. You can only train so much when you're like a smaller organization and you're building structure and departments. So you have to let people go and find their place in the company. But then you see where you need to tighten a little bit and adjust. Like, what's our company culture in terms of our return policy? Like, it could become a free-for-all if nobody's managing or there's no like proper rules around it, right? So we could see some things happening. We pulled in and then we rebalanced. In 2026, I have to say that has been extremely pleasant with the team that we have on board, and we will be hiring and bringing in more people, but we have an incredible team.
Yeah. We wouldn't be where we are without them.
Very passionate, because I think when we were hiring, we wanted people that understood that.
Our passion.
Yeah. And I think that's what attracted the people to us, also to certain respect, because they were like, oh my gosh, like I really like these people and I love their vision. I want to be part of something that's going somewhere, that's making a difference in people's lives. So you attract that in, and I think we did. And now I can see I'm starting to just like let go of things that I'm not a controlling person at work. Like, I don't need to control what people are doing, and I'm certainly not a micromanager. But now I'm like, okay, like I can give this away now. I can give this away now. I'm feeling free, so that we can focus on the other things that we want to focus on. Because we're here today, but now it's given, for me personally, it's given me an opportunity to have more air in my lungs so that I can have new ideas. And so for me, we've talked about this before. BSE was built on professional medical grade skincare, and we bought over a company 2 years ago called Usius. And Usius by BSE is a division of the company that we purchased that was basically female-founded brands, a lot of them made in Canada, more natural, what would define as clean beauty, but we don't like to use that term. Brands like Living Libations, Agent Nature. So we brought this in and we settled that. But now we realize we have over 200 brands. And when people come to us, we want them to have an experience, right? So skincare is such a vast, vast industry. Skincare and wellness.
It's ever growing too.
So when we know, because we did a lot of tests, when people come on the website, we talked about this before, they will know, they come in and they search CE Ferulic from SkinCeuticals or Daily Power Defense from Zeo Skin Health. There's, Radiant Serum from Vivier. They're looking for something. But what we see now is that a lot of people are coming into the website that aren't doing that so much. And they're just heard about us. They saw an ad, or they were, signed up for one of our first order discount email campaigns. And they come in and they're not really understanding where to go. So now we're going to get very, very granular in how we take people on their skin journey through their life. So we'll be dividing up our brands into 3 essential categories, so that people, like when you're a newbie to skincare and you're just getting started, these are the brands. When you have an issue or you're trying to make change to your skin and you want something that's a little bit more results oriented and progressive and like science backed in terms of, let's say, acne, rosacea, pigment, or something like that, you can go into more the professional. And when you really need clinical, you can go into the clinical. But the brands will be divided into these 3 separate categories.
Make the shopping experience more seamless and easier.
Right. And it also goes for hair care, because there's hair care that are mainstream, like essential hair care that you can buy anywhere. And then there's hair care brands that are found in hair salons. And then there's the brands that are really clinical that are going to help you with hair loss or specific conditions, right? So dividing that up is the next phase of development, which will be rolling out in March. or by the time this podcast comes out, maybe it will already be rolled out, to really help people to understand how to navigate their journey. Doubling down on virtual consultations. We've always done it since the beginning, but really giving more expert advice. We now have a team in place who takes appointments, and we build routines for people and just talk to people about their skin and their health and their wellness. What are some of the other things? Going from just only professional brands and medical brands to really way more retail.
Yeah.
In terms of that, but it has to align with our company values.
Like we're not just going to bring in anything.
We're not bringing anything in just to bring anything in, but for people that are, getting into skincare, there's a lot of brands out there that are introductory brands that are very good for everyday skincare when you don't have any specific concern. So we'll be bringing a lot more of that. So we're really just expanding our brand portfolio so that we carry a lot more variety.
Mm-hmm. Make it easier, because it's overwhelming when people go onto the website. There's just so many options, and there's so much content that it's like exhausting almost. Like
you don't know where to go.
It's tiring for people. So we really want to make sure that it's much more seamless and a really easy shopping experience. And also dividing our website up for men as well, and creating more of a division for men that's attractable to them. So, and then,
because men's, like, even just, we did a study on it. When you go into a female's, and I'm generalizing, right? Like, not everybody's the same. We recognize that. But when you go into a normal website, the lighting is light, right? So there's a white background and light. When you go into a lot of male website, it's black or gray.
Yeah.
So we are in the process of designing what the male or the people that like that energy more, because most of our brands that we have are for men and for women.
Yes.
Right.
But it's like sometimes just not how it's showcased, is not marketed necessarily to men.
Yeah.
And then there's a way that we can do that.
Yeah. We've already started it. It's in the works. It will roll out, I'm thinking the first half of this year.
Yeah. Just so that they feel, understood as well.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we got you.
Yeah. And, men use skincare today way more.
Yeah. And men are very loyal to their skin. They try one product, they're very loyal to it. So that's a very good clientele to have.
Yeah. And we have some incredible brands that we're bringing in to BSC that are male brands.
Yeah.
With really male specific skincare.
Yeah,
and
they deserve the attention too.
100%. Mom and baby.
Yeah, we have some mom and baby brands. I think we can really, especially now that it's sort of my life, there's definitely some brands that we can bring in to support that as well, for new moms and for babies and all of that, because it's very important.
It is.
Yeah, definitely.
So that, and then just fragrances.
More fragrances,
but niche fragrances. There's a lot of beautiful fragrance companies out there that are really special and that we want to carry.
Yeah, we want to showcase them for sure.
Yeah. So just expanding the brand portfolio and really making the experience more personalized for people, really helping people with their skin, a very kind of inclusive, we've got you and we understand. And really, I think the one thing that we are super hyper vigilant on, and we will continue to be even more in the future, is how people perceive us. So as a company that is led by people who really do care, I mean, we talk about it in every meeting we have with the warehouse team. We talk about it with our customer service team all the time, our management team. When somebody receives a box from BSE, they've bought something for themselves and they've invested in themselves. So their experience in receiving that package needs to be positive. So how we package our boxes, how we talk about product on our social media, on our blogs, how we recently also, which is something that, a lot of people don't do, is we invested in a phone system, because before we couldn't answer the phone every single time somebody called. So our message was always, leave us a message with your order number and email address and we will respond. Now we actually have multiple phones in the office. We answer the phone, we address clients. Customer service is super important for us. And I think as we are moving into this AI world even more
Keeping
seriously,
that human approach.
very much, and that community and care is super important in a world where we feel oftentimes disconnected and alone, and there's a lot of fighting. And we see it in wars that are going on in the world. There's a lot of anxiety and conflict in our world today. So when people deal with us, we want them to feel good and that we care.
And like they can have a convo with us. And it's not so
it's not and it's not transactional. It's not like, oh yeah, your order number 152673. So yeah, this is our policy. You know, like, no, we hear you. We want to help you. How can we make it right? You know? And we do have our policies in place for certain reasons because we have to. If not, I think what people also...
We'll get eaten alive. We
get eaten alive no matter what. And we know that. That comes with the territory. And that's just the way it is in business. But we're not a manufacturer. We distribute products. You know, we're a retailer of other brands. So when you're dealing directly with a manufacturer or with a big box store, it's very different than when you're dealing with a company like ours, you know, 8 years old, not with the same level of margins and stuff that they have as that manufacturing has. So we're the middleman, right? Yeah. Or the middle woman, I should say. So no, we can't do everything. We also still have to run a viable business that is able to continue. Yeah. So we have to make some rules. And some people don't love the rules because they're used to stuff, but we will always do our best to give you, to make you feel good about the transaction or the interaction that you've had with our company.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really important to us.
There's a lot to look forward to. Mm-hmm. And we're very grateful for the past, or like, let's say how we grew the company and all the challenges that we went through and obstacles, because it's only made us stronger. Today,
we have a lot of
individuals, as leaders, and also as
partners,
mothers, owners,
friends. We have a lot of people too that helped us along the way. You know, there's a lot of people that helped us emotionally, like my family. You know, financially, we had help from people who believed in us. And like my mother, for example, my mother,
number one fan.
Yeah. But she also helped us financially. Yeah. She loaned us money. We paid it back, or we pay it back.
We're very, very grateful for those who stuck by us. It's very lonely being an entrepreneur at times. It's something we didn't actually talk about. It's the loneliness that comes with the territory of being an entrepreneur. Not a lot of people are able to understand what you go through in the day-to-day. So having that support system of people that are listening to you, even though if they don't understand, but like just support you, is very, very, it's like a little gem. It's hidden gem.
Yeah.
Like very important. So we're very grateful for those people.
And not everybody can understand, like you said, what you go through. If you could talk to your girlfriends about stuff and you can talk about it, but nobody really knows what it's like when you're dealing with these things on your own.
When you're talking about something that's really you're struggling with and you need that, like you need advice. Sometimes that's where it's lacking. You can talk to your friends, they can understand and be there and support you. But like sometimes you just need somebody to like really be like, okay, do this, or just have concrete.
Somebody who's a mirror.
Yeah.
You can bounce an idea. I think we've done that a lot with each other.
Yeah.
I bounce stuff off of you all the time and you're like, no, forget about it. That's not, you know, and I'm like, okay. But no, having people to bounce. And also you have to be careful. I remember we talked about it before. The founder of Spanx is Sarah Blakely, right? I listened to her masterclass in the beginning when we first started BSE, and she talked about like having time to think. And she talked about not sharing your vision too much with too many people, because sometimes the people that love you the most are the ones that will hold you back because they're fearful. They don't understand.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't risk it, you know?
Yeah.
When I talked to it earlier in episode 1 about like putting all of my money and more into the business, I never told anybody about that.
Yeah, because
except you. They would have said, are you crazy?
Freak out.
Are you crazy? They would never be able to understand that. So oftentimes you have to keep things to yourself. And that is also lonely because you're on your own, like battling and you know, the voices in your head that are challenging it and making you stay in a position of fear. But yeah, so I think, no, just a big gratitude to the people who supported us in our business.
Yeah.
Also our very, very loyal clients. We have some clients that have been with us since day one. And they're so encouraging to us. We have one client out west that's constantly sending us emails on, you should bring in this brand, you should bring in this brand. Like she's obsessed and she loves to tell us like, you guys are great, but or she'll write us and say, you guys have been a bit slower on your delivery service. What's going on? And we're like, oh, okay.
It's like we have a customer who's like just kind of another employee at this point.
Yeah.
Like always.
She kind of tells us what to do, but we listen to her.
Yeah,
and we are very grateful for it.
Very, very strong, loyal customers that we're very grateful for. And we're grateful for all of our new customers and
our future customers.
Our future customers. We
and
love
also
you already.
Our team.
Yeah.
Amazing team, amazing circle of friends, people who have supported us along the way, like Robbie and Mitch, who let us stock all of our boxes in their warehouse. We used to drive to their warehouse, pick up boxes and bring them to your home and then to the office. We couldn't do those things without these people. And so you always also have to remember that, right?
Yeah. We're very, very grateful.
Yeah.
So thank you so much listening to our part 2.
Our story.
Of our story.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you soon.
And also looking forward to what's coming next.
Yes.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Thank you for listening to Skin Talks.
If this episode inspired you, taught you something new, or just made you feel seen, please share with someone you love. And if you believe in thoughtful and empowering conversations that help you make better choices for yourself around your beauty and wellness, please rate and review the show. It helps us to grow our community, and we deeply appreciate it. Because this isn't just about skin.
It's about claiming your beauty, feeling strong, informed, and at home in yourself.
See you next week.